All right, so we'll be starting exactly 8:05. Let's wait for some person to join it. Thank you. All right, good evening once again, everyone, and welcome to today's project management class. So I hope our day was well. You guys should do messages. Please don't just all the small things here. If you are happy about today's class, please, let me see your reactions. Let me see your emojis before we welcome our trainer for today. I'm only seeing promo. How about the rest? Are you guys not happy about today's class? Welcome, Billy. Welcome, Chima. Welcome, Sladu. Welcome, Ezech Kuma. Welcome to school. Welcome, Amanda. Welcome, Obi. Welcome, Dorothy. Good to have you guys here. So, without wasting much of the time, we'll be going on to our project management class, and I'll be inviting our teacher for today to go on and start sharing it. All right, thank you guys. So, Mr. Patrick, you can start sharing now. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Good evening, all. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Okay, I trust that we have a great day. Okay, I would like us to be, it will be more interesting if we're a bit interactive, question and answer, not necessarily question and answer, a response, a reaction. I mean, it will make a lot of sense so that it won't be boring. So I trust we all had a great day, right?
Yes, we do. You guys can
Okay,
unmute your mic and
we'll be
talk.
talking about we'll be talking about project management, and I'll give us a little insight. When I say a little insight, because I won't say I am so, nobody knows it all. Okay, there are people that also must have had one or two experiences on project management. So whatever I'm giving out here is one, to the best of my knowledge, two, to the best of my applicability. It is broad, and the more you go into it, the better you are. But taking a step is what is required, and knowing the basic steps towards project management practices is also the right thing to do. Knowing when to take the first step, and once you take the first step, you start expanding your knowledge horizons and all that. Having said that, as much as I will be talking about project management, I will also show us some practical examples on the use of Asana. Again, is to the best of my knowledge. It is not exclusive. It is not, I am not an all-knowing God. So, but I'm sure that one or two persons will grab a thing or two at the end of this lesson. So project management is the practice of planning, organizing, leading, and control of resources. Now, when we talk about these 4 or 5 things we talked about, the practice of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources. Now, these things has to do with people, time, money, and materials. And for what purpose are they for? To achieve specific goals and deliverables for a temporary effort. That is a project that is within a defined constraints. Now, the key points about project management are: 1, the purpose. What is the purpose of project management? To deliver a defined outcome. What could be the outcome? Product, service, results. And on time, not just delivering, on time. Most importantly, within budget. And finally, and to the agreed scope and quality. So when you bring together people, time, money, and materials, you say project management is taking place. Because these factors now, when you bring them together, it results in planning, it results in organizing, leading, and controlling these 4 mentioned resources to achieve what? A deliverable, which is usually a project and within defined constraints. Now, the key points again, the second key point in as far as project management is concerned is constraints, often described as a triple constraint: the scope, the time, and the cost. And these 3 now, plus quality, risk, and stakeholder expectations. Now, when you talk about stakeholder expectations, you're not talking about the investor, someone those projects, those products are being produced for, someone that has his or her money in those projects. The third key factor is life cycle phases. The fourth one is initiation. How do you conceptualize a project? Define the projects, its objectives, the stakeholders, and their feasibility. Now, by the time you're initiating a project, you already know what you are to do. I'm going to use a practical example of where I'm coming from. My former place of work is an oil and gas servicing firm. We are into downstream and midstream sector, so meaning that we drill oil, crude oil, and one of our oil wells are in Burutu in Delta State, Warri South. So I witnessed real life our drilling campaign. We call it drilling campaign because it involves a lot of planning. It involves a lot of feasibility studies. It involves a lot of things. So I was involved. We had a project manager, an in-house project manager that oversees the IOM and all the engineers in the rig to ensure that things go well. So every morning, we have what we call stakeholders meeting in our boardroom. Then we connect with those offshore, those on the rig. They give us rundown of what is happening there. Excuse me. They give us the rundown of what is happening there. We document and all that, what is expected every morning. So what is expected? Okay, what are they doing today? They will tell us and all that. So it was during this process that I got myself involved with Asana. Definitely before the campaign started, we started exploring Asana, we started sharing documents. That is talking about the initiation stage. After we have defined the project, the objective, the stakeholders involved, and the feasibilities and all that. So we created an Asana, and when I get to the practical aspect, I will show us how we can actually use Asana. It's quite broad, but for a start, you will get one or two insights as to how to make use of Asana as far as project management is concerned. So moving forward, we'll talk about planning, create schedules, budgets, scope statements, resource plans, risk and communication plans. Now, when you talk about planning now, you create schedules. What do you mean by schedule? As a project manager, you have done your feasibility studies, you have defined the project, you've identified the key objectives, the stakeholders and all that. So that gives you an insight about the schedule. In the case of a drilling campaign now, as an oil and gas project manager, our in-house project manager was able to give us a timeline, a probable schedule. Okay, each well, since we are drilling 2 wells, each well can take between 6 to 12 weeks. So plus or minus 10 weeks is either 6 weeks or 12 weeks, but it's not going to be. But the time frame was 10 weeks plus or minus to drill each well. This was after he factored in some issues, some constraints, some obstacles that might be encountered during the drilling campaign. So all those things were factored. That's why you can say, let's give each well 10 weeks max for drilling, for completion and all that. Then you talk about the budgets. Now, when you talk about the 10 weeks, each day, I like to use the drilling campaign as an example because it's more practical and it resonates to me a whole lot. Each drilling day, because the rig, that is the machine that drills the crude oil from the high sea, the rig was hired from Dubai. Each day, that rig is on offshore. My firm pays $95,000. So you know how many days that are in 12 weeks. So this is where you see everybody now, all the stakeholders involved, trying to protect their interests. Oh, 12 weeks to drill 1 well is too much and all that, because you are doing what? You're looking at your budget. You're looking at the resources. So everybody is trying to do what? To hold their side. So what happens is there has to be a common ground. So, but the essence of this is to give you an idea to plan budgets that is feasible. So when we already know that each day that rig is in that offshore, whether it works or not, we are paying our Dubai firm $95,000. Then each day that the external project manager stays in our office for that same drilling campaign, we're paying him $8,100. So these are how we factor all the costs and they make up our budgets. Then scope statement. How will the project take place? The stages. How will funds be released? How will materials be procured? How will experts for the drilling campaign be hired? What criteria will each expert, as far as the drilling campaign is concerned, what criteria will be used to do what? To recruit them. Resource plans. How will all those resources be brought together? Who will coordinate them in there? The risk. What are the risk factors? The storms in the sea, possible explosion, whatever, rig breakdown, some health hazards, accidents, and all that, some unforeseeable circumstances. Then what will be the communication plan? Now, when you talk about the communication plan, that is where the project management tools comes in. Me, I'm familiar with Asana. I'm sure some of us have others that we are familiar with. They talk about the next key point is execution, performing the work, and how do you coordinate people and resources. I mentioned that every day we have a brainstorming session in the morning. The IOM with his team of engineers at the rig tells us what they are to do today, what they achieved yesterday, and what they are doing today, how much progress they've been able to make moving forward. Then we talk about monitoring and controlling. When we talk about this, we talk about track progress, manage changes, control risks and quality. This is where those project management tools comes in, because most times there is poor network. In fact, over there, most times you use satellites, and that costs a lot of money. So communication is usually very, very slim. So what we do is that creating that Asana, the IOM and our offshore manager, they do what? They provide us with the needed information we need. It helps the team onshore rather, to track progress, manage changes, control risks and quality. Then closing. The project has taken up, the project has materialized, the project is going on well, the project is about to be rounded off, you finalize deliverables, get acceptance, your stakeholders, you're giving them reports, hands-off results, then capture lessons learned. I'm sure in the course of the project, a lot of things, oh, we could have done this instead of doing this, but because of proper documentation, which is where the project management tools comes in, it helps us to do what? To review the reports after the project has been concluded. By the time we review the reports, we have a better insight, and we have a clearer knowledge of how to do it next time, moving forward. So you find out that as a project manager and with the right project management tools, you'll be able to do what? Track on your deliverables and capture lessons learned. So what are the typical roles? There are different stakeholders in project management in every given project. Number one, we'll talk about the project manager. He is responsible for delivery and coordination. This is where he comes in. I mentioned about our in-house project oil and gas drilling project manager. He coordinates everything that happens offshore, liaises with the IOM and the team of engineers as far as the drilling is concerned. The project sponsor provides funding. In this case, my firm are the project sponsor now, even though we got some facilities, some credit facilities from the bank. But of course, it's our project. The bank is just to provide funds while we provide securities for banks. So the project sponsor is us. We provide the funding, the direction, decision-making authority. We can actually tell you, see, we don't like that IOM in that rig. We want him fired. We want someone better. That is what the project sponsor does. He hires and fires because this is money. Every damn naira and kobo or dollars, most drilling projects are in dollars. So it's a whole lot of money. So you talk about the project team. Those are ones that execute the tasks. The engineers, the IOM, the different people offshore. Then stakeholders, anyone affected by or with interest in the project. When you talk about stakeholder here, there are in the oil and gas sector, we have regulatory agencies like NUPRC, DPR, Ministry of Petroleum Resources. We had to get clearance before any rig will bet offshore, or the Navy will do what? The Navy will sink the rig. So I was the one in charge of that. I had to get all the necessary documentation, all the necessary application for approval, for NUPRC approval. These are stakeholders. And when we call them stakeholders, they are affected because one, they are protecting our waterways. There must not be oil spill in the course of the drilling. So they will definitely have their men in the rig all through the drilling campaign. Now, what that means that their welfare and everything is on us. So they will be paid, they'll be well taken care of, as well as they will also have their own reports. And how do you get the report? Every report you generate from our project management tool is what they rely on. So at the end of the day, they have to endorse it, and they have to have a copy of it to send to the Ministry of Oil and Gas Resources, to their ministry for endorsement, so that especially when it's time for the rig to go. So now, as a project manager, you have to have some important skills: planning and organization. When you talk about planning and organization, of course, you must be IT compliant, because a lot of project management activities has to do with technology, tech. So you really have to be hands-on. You also really have to be comfortable with the use of technologies, a quick learner and all that. Then talk about communication and stakeholder management. You must have the right etiquette and poise as a project manager. Speak with confidence, speak clearly, be sure that you communicate clearly. And what do you understand by communication? Communication is you understand what I'm trying to say to you, you interpret it in the way you understand it, and I am convinced that yes, that's actually what I meant. That is what I call effective communication. Then as a project manager, you must be able to identify risk and ways to mitigate it. You must have a strong body tell, apart from the expertise. Now, what does that say as a project manager? Mind you, as a project manager, it's not all the project that you manage that you have knowledge of. I'll give you an example: oil and gas. You might not have knowledge of oil and gas, but as a project manager, it gives you the opportunity to go and do your research. What could be the probable risks involved in oil drilling, crude oil drilling campaign? When you are able to get, that's why I say you have to be hands-on as far as use of technologies is concerned, use of internet, and then monitor the authority, because there are so many garbages out there, especially with the use of AI. You might get a very wrong information and then you mess your career up. But knowing how to sieve the right information, verifying the authority of the person, the author, how relevant it is with the subject matter. These are the two factors you have to consider when you are trying to get an information online. If the person is an authority in that subject matter, then there's every possibility and every chance that, yes, he definitely knows what he's doing. So as a project manager, you have to be vast in knowledge, and you have to be a quick learner, in the sense that any project that you have an opportunity of managing, you have to go and read the risks identified in that particular project and ways to mitigating those risks. Then as a project manager, you have to have that leadership and team motivation. Even when things are not going well, you have to speak clearly and confidently. You have to be the only one that is standing when everyone is already losing hope. You have to speak like a team like a captain, a team captain, you know, just like you're losing at halftime as a football team, and then you are the captain. What do you say to your men, to your colleagues at halftime? Come on, guys, we can do this. You know, cheer them up and all that. These are what a project manager should be all about. Then you talk about time and cost management. You have to also go and have a good knowledge of budgeting, financial planning, financial budgeting, negotiation skills. These are things that you have to master because you'll be exposed to bargaining with artisans, engineers, experts that will be on the field. And how do you manage that? You manage the cost and you manage the time. You also have to be a problem solver. You must have that problem solving and decision making skills. One, to be an effective and efficient problem solver, you have to be able to identify the problem, anticipate the problem before it comes in. You have to be more of a proactive than a reactive project manager. A reactive project manager will definitely sync with the project, but a proactive project manager anticipates when there's going to be a problem, anticipates risks, anticipates problem, and does what? Takes decisive steps in collaboration with other stakeholders to do what? To solve the impending problem. Then we're going to talk about the success factors and common challenges as a project manager. How do you create clear objectives and scope control? How do you create strong stakeholder engagement and communication? How do you create realistic scheduling and budgeting? How do you manage risk effectively? Now, talking about common challenges, scope creep, poor communication, inadequate resources, and unrealistic expectations. Now, as a project manager, when you face these common challenges, what do? You melt, you whistle away, or you fizzle away. No, you face it head on. And how do you face it head on? You improve yourself, you improve on your poor communication skills, if any. Then when there is inadequate resources, that is where your prudent financial management comes in. You have to devise costing measures, have a comprehensive approach towards cutting costs so that you can do what? You can make do with the available resources. Then unrealistic expectations, you need to manage unrealistic expectations of the stakeholders. I'm going to give you guys a practical example. Because of the money involved during our drilling campaign, I could remember my CEO then, the woman I worked directly with. She said that she expects that the drilling should be completed the very latest 6 weeks for each drilling, for each well. Meanwhile, the project manager gave 10 weeks. Now, if you're a project manager, a low budget project manager, you will start shaking. You start dancing to his tune, to her tune. And what happens? You start walking around to meet up with our 6 weeks deadline. What then happens? You will definitely have an inadequate resources to achieve that. And that gives rise to what? Another common challenge, which is what? An unrealistic expectation. Because you're already battling with inadequate resources. So when you don't have enough resources, how do you meet the expectations? Now I'm going to explain why. Shipping some drilling materials to the sea costs money. It takes time. Sometimes the suppliers take 5 days, 1 week to supply. So that period, what happens? You don't have control on all those things. So when, as a project manager, when your stakeholder, when the project sponsor comes with unrealistic expectations, have your facts, have your data intact, correct, to do what? to tell them this is not feasible. This is this. Because you've already planned along the line, you've done your scope, you've done everything to show, to give a timeline of when the project kicks off, of how those offshore will be receiving supplies. Because mind you, whatever they are doing there is subject to supplies they receive. They can't do nothing if the supplies have not arrived. So these are the factors that, as a project manager, you need to do what? You need to manage the project sponsors' unrealistic expectations. I know we want to earn money, so you definitely want to tell them what they want to hear, so that at least you will get the job and all that. But make sure that you are fair enough to give them a more feasible timeline so that you don't shoot yourself on the leg. Having said that, I am going to quickly go into the Asana so that I want to share my screen. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. Hello guys, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm using this my current office. My main one is in the office, in my system or in the office. I'm just using this one to do an illustration of how to go about using Asana as far as project management is concerned. Now, you can see, because this is I created this. This is my name. Of course, you can add your profile picture. You can update your profile, whatever. You can also customize your background. Okay. You can also customize your background. A lot of things. Then you can add your portfolio. If you're seeing my COSO, you can add your portfolio. I mean, you create a portfolio. I'm sure you guys knows what portfolio is all about and all that. Add your goals. Now, because I haven't added any goal, say add a goal so your team knows what you plan to achieve. Let me say I am the team lead here. And okay, let's start from the projects. This is the project now. You come to create project. This is where you create projects. For you, no, it's for my organization. You click on my organization. You click on create. Then if you have a project template, you give a title of the template. If you don't, you can just create a blank project. Okay, let's create a blank project. What is the project name? We can say drilling campaign. Okay. Now, you could see, select a team, Patrick's first team. These are my team now. Shared with privacy, shared with team. Now, this place now, I can decide to share with everybody in my organization. No. Only this, share this with only this team and invited members can find and access this project. Now, this is the correct one, because it's not everybody that is meant to be part of the project. Now, choose views on your project. We can do overview, we can do list required and all that. Let's create a project. Now we have created the project. Inside the project now, drilling campaign. You can add tax. Example, let me add tax. It said assignee. Let me add tax. IOM. You say IOM. Who am I assigning it to? These are guys in my office. These are guys in my office. So I already know the person I want to assign it to. A specialist there. The right IOM. I assign it due date. You remember I talked about the project manager giving us 10 weeks. So today is 20th. So 10 weeks is about 2 months and 2 weeks. So the project definitely will be rounding off, let's say, second week of June. So we can say this is 20th March, 20th April, 20th May, and let's say 10th of June. That's when the project will be due. So he sees it. I have assigned the IOM now. This is his tax. Then I can add field. Field now, I can say offshore. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm trying to say or doing. Hello, I can't hear anybody. Are we good?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Yeah, good.
Field now. We talk about, okay, when we talk about field, we can say offshore because they are not in. So I want to add another tax now. In-house project manager. So we have an in-house project manager. I can assign someone, let's say Gideon. Of course, it's going to still end on the 10th of June. So without wasting much of our time, this is how I'm going to list out the important persons, the stakeholders. I will also add our in-house production manager, our production manager, our oil and gas production manager. I will add him. I will also add our offshore facility manager. I will also add our stakeholders, the NUPRC people. I will also add the Nigerian Navy people because they provide offshore maritime security. I will also add NIMASA. So what am I trying to say? After adding all this, I do what? I share it to them. You can see my photo now. I said, only invited members can find and access this project. So what it does now is that after I have listed, I have added people and their assigned roles as far as this drilling campaign is concerned, I will share it to them. Of course, I must have done an onboarding as far as what Asana is all about to these people. So they have their ways, they know their ways around Asana application. So when I share this document, this app to them, what it does is that, what is expected of them is that every morning, you are to provide a report in your dashboard. And what does it, okay, of course, I will add the finance manager, the CFO, the financial controller. You add him because all the Naira and Kobo that is being assigned, they release the funds. He's the head of the accounting department and all that. So, for example now, what this project management app does is that it keeps you on track. It keeps everybody on track. For example, IOM discovered a leaking pipe when they were drilling in the night. And of course, he attached it in his reports in the morning. Now, what happens is that the engineers, the pipeline engineers offshore have seen the reports. They already know what to do. They go to what? They go to the warehouse, to the packing store, and do an inventory of what they have there to see if they can fix, if they have the pipes to repair it, to fix it, or to change it. If they don't, they raise a requisition immediately, and they share it on the dashboard of this Asana. As soon as they share it, the project manager sees it, approves it. Of course, before the project manager approves it, they will go back and forth. Why is it this costly? Why is it this expensive? You know, we're working under a budget, another. Okay, let's have more vendors. Let's reach out to more vendors. All these things happens within this platform until they will now drop like 3-4 vendors, and they will now make their choice. Okay, what are we? It's not just about the cost. How quickly can those vendors send those pipes offshore? You now see that, oh, the one that charged 10 million said he can get there within 24 hours. The one that said 7 million can say he will get there in 3 days. The one that said 5 million said 1 week. So the project manager, all these things are happening on this platform. It makes everybody to do what? To make a decision. I'm like, okay, everybody is already seeing it. So I don't need to start calling my madam, ma, this is. They're already saying it. And then you now see, because the project sponsor is there, and he knows that she's losing money as far as any idle day is concerned on the rig. So what she does is, please, can we get the 10 million person to send it within 24 hours? How did that come about? Because of this platform. Everybody is following up on project basis, on project progress and all that. Once there is any challenge, it is being addressed on this platform. Everybody knows their job. Everybody knows what they're expected to do. And the moment the account releases funds, it's drop evidence of payment to them. What happens? The project manager takes it up from there to follow up on them to confirm receiving such funds. And then they start tracking when the goods will arrive offshore. So these are the things that this Asana does. It does a lot of things too. I mean, so, and the good thing about it is that you can have as many projects as possible, because as a big firm, you can be handling a lot of projects. You can be building office guest house. You can also create another project. So it gives you a lot of, it is very flexible, it is very broad as far as using it is concerned. Then let's go to my tax. This is you now as an executive assistant. These are your tasks. Let's say you're working with your principal. Add tax. You write the name of the tax, the dates. You can say only me. This tax is assigned to only visible to me. So because it's your tax, that's why it's only visible to you. The essence of this is to guide you, to follow you. You can see when you add it now with the date, with the due date and all that, it prompts you. What do you have to do today? Do next week? Do later? It helps you to do what? To organize it. This is how the calendar looks like too. You can add that in each of the calendars. So what am I trying to say? This can also be you can also use it as your calendar management as an executive assistant. So what you can do with this is unlimited, to be very honest. And another thing I'm going to tell us is that it is not free. Like this one you're saying, it is 14 days. It is 14 days left for my free trial to advanced free trial to expire. What that means is that after these 14 days, they will lock up certain features. You have to subscribe. So my firm subscribes annually. I don't know, I can't remember the dollars because the IT department does that. We only bring them what we need, the tools we need, and they approve. So if you want to harness the importance of Asana, you have to do the comprehensive version. If you're using the free version, you won't have the comprehensive list of what you need. It won't, I don't know how to put it, you won't get the best out of this. If you must harness the importance of this project management tool as an executive assistant, you have to find a way to sign up for the comprehensive version. When you do that, We understand that most of our principals are not tech savvy. We understand that most of them are not so broad when it comes to IT tech. But then there are certain ways you create this thing, you do this thing. It makes the job automated and easier for you. It makes you track tasks while on the go. Because, I mean, for example, you can create it, my task like this. You can create it in a way that you can add, let's say, for those of us that our principals demand for daily reports every day, what have we done today and all that. You already know the departments that you are required to get feedbacks from. All you need to do is to add them, create your task, add those departments, add their team leads and all that. They will drop their reports there. They already have a prompt that, okay, once it's every 4 p.m., they will drop their reports for the day. Then you do what? You collate it. When you collate it, if your boss is not a tech-savvy person, you now know how to do it. If you're printing it out for him in hard copy or her in hard copy, you do the needful. But the essence is that you don't need to start running up and down, helter-skelter, trying to, hey, Mr. Jide, Mr. Ramos, please, we need this document. No, just prompt them on the app, and then they're already integrate them into the system. Bring your principal in, let them involve. These are what sets you apart as a proactive EA and not a reactive EA. And it saves you from burnout, because by the time you start chasing them, they will be telling you that they are busy. But when you call them out on Asana, your principal is seeing it, because of course they will be added to the project. She's a stakeholder, he's a stakeholder. So by the time you call the account head out, probably there's a need for, you're handling something for your boss and they not release funds. You call him out and say, Mr. Ramos, I'm still expecting the money for so and so. Seeing it alone, he knows that your principal will see it and he knows what it means. He will see, he will find his way. You don't even need to call him on intercom. You don't even need to rush down to his office. Calling him out, he knows that your principal will see it. And also it keeps you on track for documentation. They won't deny that they are not aware. They have been onboarded in the system, that they know that this is how you communicate. This is a means, this is a project management tool they use in the office. So when you use it, it saves you from the headache and it helps you to keep track and record in case one team leader or whatever wants to do what? Wants to move funny. So I'm going to stop here because, I mean, like I said, it's broad and maybe something that will be taken bit by bit. There's a lot of things to be learned here. But we'll find time, we'll find a way to go deeper and broaden our knowledge horizons. Also, I will urge us to check online. There is Asana tutorials. You can watch the videos. It will guide you. It's not someone that holds knowledge. You can watch the videos. It will guide you. But the best way to use Asana is having a practical need for it. Identify what you want to achieve with Asana first. Navigate your ways around it. Make mistakes. You find your way. You surely find a way, because the interface is very clear. It's very interactive. It's not difficult. So when you read them well, you follow the prompts rightly, you do the right thing. And when you're doing that, please use the web version. The web version contains more details than the application version. The app version is just to guide you on the way. Maybe you can have it on your mobile phone, on your tablets, while on the mobile, the internet, the web version is more comprehensive and complete. And there are certain things that you will see that you might not see with the mobile app. By this, I wish to state that I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you. With this following point of mine, I will say I've come to the end of this, my short lecture, and I will be taking a bow. Thank you guys and God bless.
All right. Okay, so guys, let's clap for our speaker now. Let's clap for let's appreciate our teacher. So if you have any question, please can you mute your mic and let him attend to our questions. If you can unmute from your lines, please use the chat box. Any questions before it's like
Okay, I have a question. Good evening.
all right, so yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. Good
Hey,
evening.
you made mention of the fact that Asana, you need to pay for it to be able to enjoy the whole benefits that comes with it, right? So in a situation where we're working for a company, it's not in our powers, right, to pay for it. We're not the ones that are supposed to pay for this. The company is supposed to take care of that, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes,
And the
but
free
but there's
version
a
is
but.
not limit to it.
You
Like
say what?
in case you want to use it to create like a kind of like dummy project to put on our portfolio. Is there any limit? Because I'm asking this because I use Trello. I used Trello when I wanted to create a dummy project for my portfolio. And at one point in time, I can't access the free version anymore. Like they gave, I think it's 7 days or thereabout that they gave. I can't remember, but I know that at a point in time, I could not even access the free version. They were asking me to pay. So I want to know, is it the same for Asana or the free version is continuous?
Yes, I mentioned it now. The free version is not continuous. It's just 14 days. So that's why the essence is that they give you, they whet your appetite and then they collect it back. So by the time you have saved your portfolios and all that, and you did not subscribe, they will lock it. They will lock it and you will lose your portfolio and all that. So that's why I advise that for you to enjoy the real benefit of all these project management applications, you have to really subscribe. Depends on how much you earn and all that. Because I understand that some of these small companies, they will not approve you. They will not approve it to be paying for the subscription, especially when they didn't employ you specifically as a project manager. So they don't trust your expertise as far as project management is concerned. So it is left for you to groom yourself, to grow yourself as far as project management, and put in a strong proposal to show that you need this. And when I mean proposal will be in a slide presentation to show that you need this, and then why you need it, and what it will bring, how it will benefit the company. See, as an EA, your principal doesn't want anything that will make your job easy. Let me be very honest with you. I speak from experience. But then you create it. You create it by integrating the office, not just yourself. Speak more of how the process will benefit the entire organization and not for yourself. If you're speaking about yourself, they will flag it. So speak more of how it will make the entire process in the organization seamless and automated, and you see them get interested. And then before you do that, please make sure you know your ways around it, because they might ask you to come and do a demo presentation as far as that is concerned, and they'll have your time. You know, all these are offices and they have boardrooms and all that. You'll be sitting in all these archaic managers that are using pressing computer with one finger and all that. You know, so it's funny. So you have to really ground yourself very well before you can put in that. But once you sail through, they will respect you. And this is how I feel that we can be proactive. Use all these small skills to pepper them in the office so that they will value EAs. Because they think that our own is just to run around for our principal. No, be more strategic, be more systematic, be more proactive and not reactive. Package yourself well, you know. When you do all those presentations, they will be like, wow, how come we don't know about this? And you will see the IT manager, if there is any, or depending on how big your firm is, we concur with you immediately, and they will advise that is approved. I mean, some of us use Microsoft 365, and these are also how the company can integrate these too. If you know how to really convince them, put in pitch pitch it very well to them, sell yourself to them, sell it to them. But don't rely on the fact that it is for your own benefit. No. Tell them more is about the firm generally. It will automate, it will harmonize reporting system and all that. And you might be called in for presentation, and I know you will exit once you find a way around it. And the sky becomes your starting point. Thank you.
Okay, I hope the answers your questions, Krista.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate.
All right, thank you so much. So, Mr. Patrick, we have another question. Blessing, she said you didn't show us how to call the stakeholders out.
I'm trying to hear you, ma'am. So can you go start afresh, please?
Okay, I said Blessing sent a message in the chat room. Can you read it?
You say?
Blessing sent a message.
Okay. Let me check. Said you didn't show us how to call the stakeholders out, e.g., calling the account department to make payment. Okay. This is interesting. You know, you have to be. Can you guys hear me? You have to be very strategic as far as, because mind you, those guys are your seniors. You understand? Those guys are. It's not like calling them out, so loudly or something like that. Or you want to set them up. No, you can just there's a chat bar also in the project this thing, so you can actually chat them up, like, okay, personal message right on the project to the particular manager. You can actually type it and send it to them, like not like calling them out openly on the no. You can actually chat them personally on the let me try and share my screen. Sorry guys, I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know whether. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, this is the IOM's page now. This is IOM page now. So let's say the IOM now is the account, the finance manager, or the CFO, chief finance officer. All I need to do is to do what? I'll send him you see, you can, are you seeing my cursor now? You can send him an email. It's still within that place. You're not going to call him out, because like I said, those guys might actually be your seniors. So you can send him an email, a private one, to remind him that, sir, this is that. And it comes as a notification. You can see inbox here. You can see inbox here. So every email, every message you send to your project teammates comes here as an inbox. So it serves, you can see inbox summary. It serves as an evidence. So mind you, you have provided an onboarding for them. That they know that this project is happening, and you create a notification. Look at it here, manage notifications. So you make sure that you allow notification. So whenever they're on the move, that message, the moment you send it, it drops to them. They won't deny it. So the essence is to shield yourself from any blame or anything. So when you use a DM, private DM, but it has to be inside the project management app. It has to be inside the project management app. It stays on the inbox. The person you sent it to directly, it stays on this inbox. And then because you sent notification, you manage it to allow notification. It prompts them that, okay, the EA sent something. Oh, because one thing is that you guys know how important your office is, no matter how they try to overrule it. They know that any message that comes from me is coming from them, from Madam or Oga. So they want to treat it as urgent. So the moment they see the email, your inbox message, trust me, they know what is required. And whatever your message content is, you are to refer them to drop evidence of payment and all that on the project platform, so that the necessary team members, the right team members will see it and move on. For example, by the time the payment has been made, the project manager prompts the procurement team to act. I don't know if I'm making sense. So this is how, you see now how it works. So the essence is to remind them and not more like calling them out like they don't know their job. No. So that they don't go and enter a match a bookie sheet. Thank you, guys. I don't know if I answered your question, Blessing. Okay. She said yes. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Do we have any other person that has questions? If you have any questions, please ask now. Okay, so if there are none, I think we've come to the end of today's training. So we say thank you to our speaker. Please, guys, let's appreciate him. Maybe your speaker on this clap for our speaker. Let's appreciate him for his time, for taking out the time to put us on Asana. We really appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for putting that time. And for those of us that joined it, the recording will be sent to the group later. So thank you guys, everyone. I say thank you once again and nice. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night rest. Cheers.